Hey, Mike, you cut the radio down on the aux 1. Down.
Good morning, community. How are you today? We are incredibly fortunate to have been selected as for the Amateur Radio for the International Space Station, or ARISCONNECT. Only 4 schools nationwide were chosen for the Winter Spring 2026, and Conn Magnet Elementary School Entrepreneur Design is the only public school and the only elementary school selected across the United States. Our contact experience has been uniquely special. Due to a Crew 11 medical evacuation and our recent weather conditions, the scheduled contact was almost delayed. While 3 schools were originally contacted this week, we are now the only school moving forward with contact at this time. Currently, 3 astronauts are on board the space station, including American astronaut Chris Williams. Astronaut Williams is also a licensed amateur radio operator, and today marks his very first radio contact with the International Space
The board
Station.
audio it's not picking up the board audio. Your live stream is not picking up the board
At
audio.
this time, I would like to warmly welcome our guests, both those joining us in person and those who share their video messages. Starting with Dr. Taylor, Superintendent of Raleigh Public School System, Marcia, a national educator, Jim, our space ambassador, our AIR team, Ms. Patton, Central Area Superintendent for Raleigh Public Schools, Dalton and Colin from the North Carolina State University Amateur Radio Station, our students asking questions and their families, and of course our amateur radio experts who set up all this equipment to help make this possible. A huge thank you goes out to our staff, students, and families, and community partners for hundreds of hours of collective work that a day-to-day moment we will always remember. Now let's begin our program as we count down the first message from our Superintendent, Dr. Taylor, who I have an honor to bring to the stage next.
There we go. You got all of it. So good morning, you guys. I'm so glad to be here this morning. I know that in November you were visited by Major General Charles L. Bolton, a former astronaut and leader in NASA. He spoke to you about his journey, his career, and the power of never giving in. So I hope you guys had a great time talking with him, and I hope you took those lessons to heart and carried his advice with you as you said to become our future leader. We know that's what you're going to do. So in just a few minutes, we'll get an opportunity to speak with an actively working astronaut who is proof that your hard work and dedication can pay off. And I do want to thank you, give my gratitude to the AIR team for making today possible and giving our students a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So know that your dedication to your craft has created a moment that will live with these students their whole lives. So in the moment we're going to prepare to contact, need the contact number, and I'll finish by telling our students that this event is a perfect example, students. You hear this. This is a perfect example of how far imagination, science, and education can take us. So I want you to enjoy every second of this time. Now I'm going to stop talking for a minute because our state superintendent, Mo Green, came up, and I've asked him to come up for just a moment. I'm going to yield some of my time so he can address us. We are grateful that he's here with us. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. And good morning to everyone. students and educators, y'all are the stars today. I'm looking forward to witnessing this amazing, amazing event. Thank you very much.
Okay, just a second. Okay. And what is that noise? Everyone's hearing it online. Everyone's hearing it online. Yeah.
Just like an external karaoke speaker hooked up to a computer be a good idea? To blast it into the room.
I
It's okay though, because we can shift over
don't know.
for me talking. And as long as that is working for the ISS,
It is.
that's all that matters. So we can shift it to me just talking on the slides.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
This
Perfect, and that is a great segue to take a look at the slides of Chris Williams. That's how Chris Williams is on the International Space Station. We go to the next one, and we are going to be seeing our Conn Magnet community. Not everyone's able to be here, but we are thankful for everyone who is going to watching at home. As we have our 2-hour delay here in Lake County Public School System. We go to the next one, the next one. We keep going where we're talking about. Yep, next one. Here we go. We're talking about that. Is there more on that? The acquisition that happens at 10:10, and I think 38 seconds. That's when the horizon, the International Space Station, is going to rise up. We can see the antennas are aiming towards that. It's going to track it as it goes through the path. And then at 10:15 and 38 seconds, that's when we're about halfway done with asking our questions of astronaut Chris Williams. And then the next one should be at 10:20 and 42 seconds precisely. We will have loss of signal. That is where the International Space Station will be ducking down below the horizon. So we have about 10 minutes as we're making our direct radio contact with the International Space Station. The next one. Perfect. And those are the 3 astronauts we heard about who are on the International Space Station right now. And we're going to be speaking with astronaut Chris Williams. We're going to keep going. We're going to go by that Eris link.
Well, that was what we just watched.
And while we're waiting, we're going to get another shout out to NCSA who's here. We're looking to do some really fun things in the spring and to do our work next year. We're going to be looking to communicate and bounce off radio waves from the moon and all sorts of fun, exciting things. Let's see if we get to the slide deck. Is perfect. We go to the next one. Thank you, Marcia. So we have a new space day. We're going to go through this quickly because we're approaching our direct contact in about 15 minutes, 12 minutes. It's Space Day back in October. All of our students had an opportunity, and we just kind of go through the slide. We had an opportunity to generate questions. We had students had an opportunity to generate a logo for a t-shirt. So all of our students who are asking questions of astronaut Chris Williams today. We also had all of our students design a logo for a keychain. They're not ready yet, but let me tell you, they are pretty amazing. We're using our glow forge for each grade level, kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And we're going to show you what they're going to look like up on the screen. Keep going. Where's the shirt again? Here we go. Those are all 6, but this is going to be for kindergarten. We're going to go through. So, woo, so shout out to kindergarten. We are executing each one of these, and we're very, very super excited about that. Stay tuned for being able to receive those, or probably another week for them to be completed. We keep going. Again, we had, go backwards again. We were so excited with our community partnership with some of our families at Charlie Bolden, astronaut, pilot, commander, NASA administrator, be on campus back in November, speaking with our students. And then also, Charlie Bolden was on a Google Meet with 5th graders, asking questions. It was absolutely fantastic. And again, it's because of our partnerships through our families, through our community, that so many opportunities occur at Conn Magnet Elementary School of Entrepreneurial Design. And we're so happy about that. We keep going. Please, there we go. Keep going. We had another Space Day too. That was in December. Kindergarten, first and second grade students, they were designing different aliens based on different characteristics of how we can communicate with them. And then our third, fourth, and fifth grade students, they were designing a new space station. We all know that the International Space Station in 2030 is going to start to deorbit and it's going to be burning up on entry to our Earth's atmosphere, and whatever does not burn up will be laying at Point Nemo in the Pacific Ocean. So we were coming with different designs for what that space monitoring location might look like. We keep And actually, I'm going to stop talking and bring on Jim, our space ambassador, who's going to share out some information. So here you go, Jim.
And it's flying overhead, and it reflects sunlight when it's going at dusk. And then he's up in that top left corner there. Next page. This is that module up close. You can see it's the European Space Agency module there. Next page. And this is what it looks like inside on the next slide. So this is not Chris Williams. This is astronaut Tim Peake. I don't have a picture of Chris Williams talking on the radio because this is the first time he's going to do it. Yay! All right, the radio's there on the right. You can see it's hooked up to the antenna with that little white cord, and the antenna is on the outside of that module that you saw. So that's how the antenna from there sends a signal to the antenna on the roof here. That's it. It is that direct. So that's the end of mine. I think it's John's turn.
Test 1, 2, 3. Good morning, guys. Just want to let you all know how the contact is going to go down. So at right before 10:10, I will start calling to the space station. The space station call sign is NA1SS. I might say it phonetically, which is November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. And we're going to be using the call sign Kilo 4 Echo Bravo K4EB. So we'll say NA1SS, NA1SS, this is K4EB. And we'll just say that a few times, and then eventually they'll respond, and then we will turn it over to the students to ask their questions. I want to thank a bunch of people. I had a long sort of thing I was going to say, but we're kind of running low on time. So I just want to thank Jim Scarborough, KE4ROH. He had this idea in 2018. We were colleagues at Red Hat, and he had a student at Moore Square Magnet Middle School. We got involved with the school. Josh Hunter was a science teacher at the time, and he wrote up a really great application, and we got it, and it was great. Yeah, but we weren't able to do another direct contact because this equipment, we got it from Mark Hammond, N8MH right here, and he was putting it up on his university, Campbell University. And once he put it up on the roof there, we didn't have equipment at the ready to do contacts. So we've done, Wake County Schools has done several telebridge contacts, which is basically use a telephone to connect to a remote radio station, like in Baltimore, for example. And so Wake County has done a few of those telebridge contacts, but Josh Hunter, everybody has wanted to do another direct contact. We were finally able to get together a grant to buy all this equipment. Carl Davis and Brantley West, W8WZ and K4CBW were instrumental in that. Many people have been really instrumental in this. Let me see if I can go through some other folks. I want to thank Mike right next to me, K3LOE. He's running audio, obviously, and he's done some demos with the students. Let's see, Tom N4TL, Tom Lewis N4TL is taking pictures, and he just explained the ground track over there. Devin Hedge, KN4FEH, is running our live stream. He's behind the TV. John Hollowell, K4JAH, he loaned us a security camera, which allows us to view the antennas as they move. I don't know if it's working. Brantley's over there working on it. We had a problem with the network cable is too loose. Let's see, Daniel Lomdu, KD4UNX, provided an Ethernet cable for that. And let's see, I also want to thank Eaton. Eaton Corporation provided a UPS. This UPS right here, they donated to us. So thank you to Eaton and Mike DeCamp and Casey Burkhart out of their Raleigh office. And thanks to Jermaine McGill, who is providing the speakers we're using. Yeah, Josh Hunter's going to be holding the microphone with the students. And thanks to Carl Oriola. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right, but thanks for all the AV stuff. And of course, Dan Gridley has been the kind of glue that's held all this together, just really bringing it together. So thank you. I feel like he's been like a chicken running around without his head on, just coordinating everything. Eris has so many requests from the school side, and he's done all that. So thank you so much. Big shout out to my parents are here from Wilmington, Jim Breyer and Camilla Hurlovic. My dad, his call sign is KG4AZX. He taught me electronics starting as young as when I was as young as y'all. And he taught me how to fly model airplanes, race RC cars. And when I was a teenager, we got into ham radio. So if it wasn't for him, I might not be doing this. So thanks, Dad. All right, that's all I've got.
All right, for everybody who is in person and then watching online, again, thank you very much for being here. We are going to have our 12 students start to get lined up for our queue, and you did hear John say that we're going to start trying to connect with the International Space Station. So this will all take 30 seconds. We can kind of like, stretch it out, wiggle it out a little bit. For all of our students who are here, okay, I think we're ready. That didn't take as long as I thought. So we're going to have our 12 students come up. We have Robin and Elijah from kindergarten, Madison and Kyle from first grade, Lyra and West from second grade, Kobe and Marina from third grade, Maddie and Max from fourth grade, and then Hattie and Ian for fifth grade. So now we can applause for everybody. And then are you going to, how trying to communicate? Okay, so we still have about 3 minutes until the International Space Station. You can see that big circle. Now we can actually apply some of our learning that we had earlier today. You can see the International Space Station is off the coast, the west coast of South America. It's going to be going right around Honduras. And when the ISS gets to Honduras, this circle is when it's going to be above the horizon, and we'll be able to start making our contact. So as you can see, every 5 seconds or so, it inches along, and we're getting ever so close. Maybe we can, Devin, is on the TV that's broadcast, is it the ISS? Is the ISS being broadcast on the, oh, if it was just on the, yep, we're gonna get them up. So we will ask the students, Miss Oriola will start having the students line up. All the students stand up. Robin, we're going to stop right here. Perfect. And Madison, perfect. Excellent, excellent. Mr. Hunter, Josh Hunter. I have your questions, so you don't even need your questions. I'll take them. What's going to happen, students, is you're going to come to me. I have your question. You're going to read it. Remember, we need to ask our question and then say over when we're finished, and that's when astronaut Chris Williams knows you're finished, and then he's going to reply. After astronaut Chris Williams is replying, we're going to have our next question go. We're going to have Miss Thompson and Miss Schlosser. They're going to guide you to get back in line to ask your next question. And we're ready, right? We've done this a few times. I think we're ready. Okay, we're still about 2 minutes away from our opportunity with our International Space Station. That was good energy, Robin. Love it. So let's think about some of our fun facts about the International Space Station. It is moving at 17,500 miles an hour. Very, very fast. There are 16, that's the equivalent of 16 days in a 24-hour time span, because every 90 minutes, the International Space Station is going around. We all know it's microgravity on the International Space Station. So Chris is going to be kind of tethered in when he's communicating with us. We're not going to see him, but we're going to be able to hear him. And again, we're going to be sending those radio waves up to the International Space Station. He's going to receive them, and he's going to send them back down to us. So again, we won't see him, but we'll be able to hear him. A reminder, there were supposed to be 7 astronauts on the International Space Station right now, but now there's only 3 because of the crew 11 needing to have their medical evacuation. So there's still only 3 astronauts for a few more weeks. And then there's going to be another crew 12, that heads up to the International Space Station. Like we heard Mr. Wahalik earlier, we are very, very lucky because of that medical evacuation. And then we all know because of the weather that our direct contact was almost not going to happen, but we are super excited that we are able to have it today, knowing that's not how we necessarily planned with our 650 students and staff and in the building, but we're glad to have as many as we can right now. And then we have all of you who are viewing at home around the United States and the world, and again, most specifically with our Raleigh community, our Conn Magnet community. And we must be getting closer and closer as we take a look. Maybe about 1 minute away.
November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. This is Kilo 4 Echo Bravo. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. This is Kilo 4 Echo Bravo, calling for a scheduled contact. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra. This is Kilo 4 Echo Bravo, calling for a scheduled contact. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, this is Kilo 4 Echo Bravo, calling for a scheduled contact. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, this is Kilo 4 Echo Bravo, calling for a scheduled contact. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, this is Kilo 4 Echo Bravo, calling for a scheduled contact. November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, this is Kilo 4 Echo Bravo, calling for a scheduled contact.
Copy all, and I'm very excited to speak to them. Over. Hi, Robin. Once I get back from space, I'm going to work either helping other astronauts on the space station by talking to them on the radio, or maybe by helping to design some of the new vehicles that are going to go help us get back to the moon. Over. Hi, Madison. When you're blasting off into space, it feels like you're really heavy, and all of these, you're getting pushed really hard back into your seat, like an elephant sitting on your chest. And then, once you get to zero gravity, I felt like I was upside down until I got used to it. Over. Hi, Lyra. Any trash we generate, we put into a cargo vehicle that then goes and gets burned up in the Earth's atmosphere. Over. Something I'm not able to do in space, but really like to do
Hi, this is Maddie. What personal technology can you bring to space that has pictures, videos, and audio of family and friends? Over.
Hi, Maddie. Thankfully, up here we actually have tablet computers with the internet, and so I can video call with my kids and my family back home.
Hi, this is Hattie. What are you looking forward to the most when you return to Earth? Over.
Hi, Hattie. When I get back to Earth, the thing I'm most looking forward to is giving my kids a big hug.
Hi, this is Elijah. Do planets look different in space? Over.
Hi, Elijah. Other planets in our solar system don't look too different, but the Earth looks really different. I can see how round and curved it is and how pretty it looks. Over.
Hi, this is Gael Matute Acevedo. What games do you play in space when you're not working? Over.
Hi, Gael. We play a lot of different games. Sometimes we try to throw M&Ms at each other.
Hi, this is West. Are there similarities with your favorite food in space and in Earth? Over.
Hi, Wes. We can't eat super crunchy foods in space, but we can get a lot of foods that are kind of like the food you eat when you're camping. So they're pretty similar, and I really like them.
Hi, this is Marina. Have you ever seen a hurricane in space? Over.
Hi, Marina.
Should I start? Hi, this is Max. Knowing spaceflight can be risky, why did you choose to still be an astronaut? Over.
Hi, Max. Spaceflight can be risky, but it's also a lot of fun, and it's a great adventure, and it's helping to make the world a better place. I'm really happy to be a part of this.
Hi, this is Ian. What is the hardest part of your life by being in space on the International Space Station? Over.
Hi, Ian. The hardest part about being in space is being away from it.
Hi, this is Robin. What are your favorite views you've seen from space so far? Over.
Hi, Robin. The favorite view I've seen from space has been the Earth and some of the northern lights of the Aurora Borealis that you can see out the window sometimes. Over.
Hi, this is Madison. What advice do you have for students who loves to build, design, and dream about the future? Over.
Thanks for the question, Madison. The thing I would say is to keep building, keep designing, and keep dreaming about the future, because if you work really hard at it, really anything you want can come true. Over.
Hi, this is Lyra. We apply our ideas design cycle each day. How do you and the crew on the International Space Station discuss possible solutions to problems and then decide an action to take? Over.
That's a great question, Lyra. So up here, we like to talk to each other a lot. And whenever we have problems or challenges, we find by talking with each other and also talking with our people on the ground that help us in mission control, we can always come up with a good solution. Over.
Hi, this is Kobe. What does looking out into space look like when you're in the shadow of Earth? Over.
Hi, Kobe. Space, when you're in the shadow of the Earth, looks really dark, and you can see tons of stars. It's like being really far away from the lights in towns and cities. Over.
Hi, this is Maddie. If you could design a new space mission for kids to help with, what would it be? Over.
Hi, Maddie. I would try to make something where you could see a camera with a view of the Earth, because it's a really special view of our planet and makes you really appreciate it. Over.
Hi, this is Hattie. What is something you saw in space that no photo or video could ever show? Over.
Hi, Hattie. I saw the northern lights last week outside the window of the space station, and I took some pictures of it, but the pictures can't capture how beautiful it was. I wish everybody had a chance to see it like that. Over.
Hi, this is Elijah. How much water is used on an average day of the International Space Station? Over.
Hi, Elijah. I don't know the exact amount of water that we use on the International Space Station, but I do know that we recycle almost 99% of it. So all the water that we use and all the wastewater, we turn that back into drinking water for the next day. Over.
Hi, this is Kyle. Is there an age minimum to go to the International Space Station? Over.
Hi, Kyle. No, there's no age minimum. Most of the people who are astronauts are in their 30s or 40s or 50s, so a little bit older, but there's no age minimum. Over.
That was the last question. Thank you very much, Mr. Williams. Thank you so much, 73 NA1SS K4EB.
Kilo 4 Echo Bravo. It was a real pleasure to talk to you and the students today. Thank you so much. It made my day. Over.
Yeah, and we appreciate this was your first AIRS contact. Thank you. We really appreciate it. 73.
Thank you so much. Over.
73 K4EB.
All right, what a great experience. So first, I just want to start our closing by saying I cannot tell you how much my heart is beaming with pride. Let's give a round of applause to these amazing kids. I then want to thank our community for coming together to making sure that this event still happened even with the 2-hour delay. I would like to extend a thank you to Dr. Taylor for coming out, to Mo Green, our State Superintendent of Public Instruction, for coming out, for our radio team for making this incredible feat just happen. This is the true spirit of Conn, making kids' dreams come alive, even when they might not fully realize what that dream is. That's what we do every day at this school. We are proud of it. Let's go make this a great day. Well done, y'all.